Merhaba and welcome back to the Ottoman campaign in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. One of the new Vayvay class light cruisers. One without a name yet. Up against two French Beviziers class. What's elite in Turkish? Because I think that's going to be its name, if it survives. Because we're up against two. They don't have big guns though, only 5.1 inch guns. I got 7.5s. So I don't know, it could work, maybe. So yeah, let's find out if these new boats are any good. It looks good though, I think. Top speed of 36 knots. No stability in tower, pretty good. Got -5 for having quadruple barrel guns, but in the grand scheme of things, -5 is not that big a deal. Well, the armor should hold. Hopefully. Let's see, what kind of guns do the 5.1s? So at, I guess around 4,000 meters, my 2-inch extended armor and 2-inch superstructure should be protected from their 5.1 inch guns, in theory. Because they can pen 2.3 at 2,500. Yeah, I think like at 3 to 4,000 meters is where they can start hurting me with guns. Of course, if I run into their torpedoes, I might not live to worry about the guns. Let's see, torps on the one in the back. Hope they stay the course. They're already like maneuvering and stuff. Why are you maneuvering? Glaive has launched. What kind of torps do they have? -35% visibility. I think my torpedo spotting is pretty good. Yeah, there we go. Detected enemy torpedoes. It already passed me. My torpedoes might kind of be on target here. No. They're running out of steam. Just before hitting. It's to the main tower. At 10 kilometers, I should still be safe. Okay. Hit my torpedoes now, do you? Yeah, torpedoes knocked out. Because they're unprotected. And losing those torpedo launchers has cost me 12% of my crew. Let's switch to AP on both, see if that does anything. In theory, my 3-inch guns should be capable of going through the extended armor on the French light cruisers. Would have been funny if that spread of torpedoes had hit the glaive. We're at 4,300 meters. 4 kilometers. Okay, maybe wanna open up that range a little bit. There we go. Taking out their tower. Maybe stay at like 4.5. Yeah, that could be a thumbnail. Six kilometers. Let's get a little bit closer again. It's your main belt, sir. 5.7. But I'm not gonna go through the citadel. Glaive just launched torpedoes. There they are. They got some underwater torps still. Okay, Glaive is going back in for another go. try and stay at 4.5. Close enough for my guns to be punchy and effective, but too far away from theirs. Set them back to auto. The HE is getting blocked, but sometimes I do score full penetrations of the extended armor. It's kind of worth it. See if I can take out the towers on Fugo as well, because Glaive has lost both towers. That was a nice salvo. Taking some partial pens like here and there. It's not really serious. You can get a little bit closer again. My crew loss has gone up to 13.1, which isn't much, really. Only lost... I went down to 12.6 after losing the torpedo launchers. But since then, it's been like one crew member here and there. Which isn't much. There go partial pens to my main tower. And they're firing AP now because they ran out of HE. That's why they're starting to score partial pens. Fugo has actually taken on quite a bit of flooding. And a damaged rudder. If I had torpedoes left now, that would be a pretty easy target. But those torpedoes are long lost. Go has now also lost her main tower. Needs a little bit more flooding, and she's gonna sink. She cannot fire because of the angle. I just need a little bit more flooding on her, and then I can focus the glaive. But the good news is they're gonna run out of ammo long before I do. So far so good for the new light cruiser class. This is like very good in performance from a light cruiser not even costing 300 million. Versus two that are at 650 each. Oh, one of them managed to launch a torpedo. It's not gonna hit much. There goes Fago. Now it's just glaive left. And she does have one torpedo, but I think the loaded tube is on the other side. I did get a little bit close there. 3.3, that is within the range that they can go through my extended armor and superstructure. Like 4 is a little bit safer. They are at 32.5% crew loss. What kind of turret armor do they have? 2.8. I hit their main guns. Not run into the wreck. Maybe this is a better shot. They have ceased fire. Let's drop our speed and just get closer to them. Make some holes. And they are sinking. 7. No, got it under control. There she goes. Nice. That was a pretty good job. It was a bit of a slug match though, but that's kind of what you get with light cruiser on light cruiser fights. Unless you get lucky with torpedoes, of course, which neither side did. Another one. This time versus a heavy cruiser, so this is a tougher fight. We're gonna take it though. So am I gonna have to get lucky with torpedoes? Possibly. I cannot scratch the main belt. Never mind the citadel, as the main belt itself is just too thick. You can't do much about the main gun turrets. But I outgunned one of these cruisers before with 2 of my light cruisers. And this is a more powerful light cruiser than those 2 combined. There we go, instantly knocking out some torpedoes. I want to get close enough to deal with them with my torpedoes and be pretty sure that I can actually score a hit. Like, in theory, my citadel should be safe, even from their 10-inch guns. I'm actually doing a lot of damage to them, but okay, stay on target, stay on target. There goes my main tower. There goes the spread of torpedoes. We're gonna get quite a few hits here. 9 hits. Are they gonna flood to death from that? They did. Nice. So that went well. I think I can call this a successful light cruiser design, and after the war, start replacing some of the older ones. 2 Janissaries versus 1 light cruiser. 1 destroyer, excuse me. That's not really much of a fight. Seeing as the theme today is apparently light cruisers, I just sent the battle cruisers home and gonna let this handle it. And they did launch. But I pulled a little maneuver, so those torpedoes will probably miss by quite some distance. There they are. Not that big a distance. I blew up a bunch of torpedoes on them though. That's supposed to be the weakness of oxygen torpedoes, that they have a higher chance of detonating like that, but you don't really see it happening that often. Typically you just hit the launcher and you destroy the launcher. Yeah, maybe I should have brought along the battle cruisers, because this is not very not like super effective. We're gonna have to make some holes here, so loading AP. There we go. Engine damage, flooding. Yeah, B and Y turret not working on these. Not sure if I'm gonna just bother fixing that at all in a refit, or retire the class entirely and replace them by the new Vayvay class that we saw worked very well in the 2 previous battles. I think I'm just gonna do that. The whole point of these was that they were cheap, but I'm not really poor anymore. Well, cheap and small, so that point still stands. I've got still a bunch of ports that are kind of tiny. But then again, you don't really spend that much more money on upkeep if a ship is sitting in... There we go. Surrendered, actually. If a ship is sitting in a port that is too small. I know that was the intention, that it was something you had to watch out for, but the actual difference just seems to not be that big. What does end up costing a lot of money is if you go over the construction capacity, then it gets really expensive. 2 battlecruisers versus 2 destroyers. Well, let's go. And we were briefly in firing range, but then they hit in smoke. There we go, spotting them again. One on each. That was a dangerous maneuver by them. Could have easily just hit both in one salvo, but I didn't have any shells in the air at the moment, so... Are they gonna get close enough to launch torpedoes? I don't think so. Mansfield certainly didn't. Paisley also did not get close. And those were the battles of September of 1947. We're doing both of these naval invasions. That's nice. That one too. We have successfully defended the Faroe Islands. We are also invading western Sweden. Liaodong Peninsula. Soviet Union is 1 month away from taking Java and wiping out the Dutch. Like for good. Dominican Republic, I guess. We can try and take. $29,000 tons. Doesn't take much. How much tonnage do I need to assemble here to start invading like Britain proper? Northwest England, 500,000 tons. That's doable. Scotland, almost 1 million. Western Germany, almost 1.3 million. I guess I'd need like 1.5 million to make it 100%. And something like 600,000 for Northeast England, 400,000 for Eastern England. That's doable. Eastern Sweden though, 90,000, that's doable also. You got 4 months left. Shetland, that stuff I can just pick up as war operations because it's not worth much. Let's send these to Stockholm so they can invade next turn. And this, despite being a very huge task force in terms of numbers, doesn't have that much tonnage. Eastern England, that was how much? Like 500,000? Okay, yeah, no, like 400,000. We can actually take that. I just need to bring in some more ships. But I got a lot of tonnage sitting here. That is gonna be free in a couple months. So that's nice. Oh yes, also. British Columbia. How much? Do I have enough tonnage there? $70,000. Yes, I do have enough tonnage. I guess that, then Sweden, then Eastern England. I've got spare capacity. What have I suspended? I've suspended these. Let's get on with some of the S-Class refits. 2 of these are ready. I can start refitting Kisara and then just suspending one of these cruisers. And then we're good to go. Mark 5 18s in 6 months. Well, onwards to October. Let's see, do they still exist? Dissatisfied pacifists. Minus 50 naval prestige, that is nothing. Plus 5 unrest, I can just knock that down with 1 battle, I think. Yeah, we're gonna use the police. And 1 light cruiser. I've taken Cuba. Now, I did bring along my battleships, so it's not like Geditz is gonna do this alone. But seeing as how the Vayvay class took on 2 of these light cruisers in a 1v2, this one, which is a on paper a more powerful, bigger light cruiser, certainly more expensive, like 3 times the cost of a Vayvay, should be able to also perform well. And all 4 turrets work, by the way, on these ones. A little maneuver. There were some torpedoes that I'm just maneuvering right into. We're good. My own torpedoes have still not blown up, so we're gonna launch and see if we get lucky. Plus 152% from hull stability and tower. That is the new Vayvays. They got pretty good hull stability and tower, but this is on another level. You do actually get something for all that money. And there we go. Galilee sinks. We took 30 damage in return, dished out 28,000. I'm still losing transports though, like all over the place. Yeah, kind of. So is France, but not really that many. I've taken Cameroon of Britain. Did not take Nigeria. And the Soviet Union has taken Java. Provinces, yeah, they're gonna not exist next month. That was quite an income boost for the Soviets. Transport capacity is at 183%, so it is going up despite all those transport losses. So it's not like a disaster. Still 100% here. Ooh. Another one of these. The new Vayvay. And the old Abdul Majid. Could be a tricky one. Now, British Columbia. Or Eastern Sweden. Eastern Sweden is worth more. So we're going to take that one first. Am I in the circle here? I am not. I'm not in the circle. There we go. This task force gonna move here to Yarmouth. Actually, you're gonna move to Yarmouth. And this will move to just far enough away that they're not gonna merge together, because that's kind of lame when it happens. Here, that should still be within the circle when it pops up. 250,000, 200,000. That's 450,000. I needed a bit less than 400,000 to take this, so that will be enough. And if that fails, well, I got this force too. Now, what is going on here? Japan. Japan is trying to invade Western Germany. They need more than 1.3 million tons. Yeah, no. Good luck, Japan. You'd have to multiply your entire navy by 10. Let's do this convoy battle and see if it works. Because I'm a little bit skeptical of this one. Or maybe I shouldn't be. Because Vayvay versus Gorgon class heavy cruiser, we know that works. We just did it. Without much trouble. Which just leaves the French destroyer, but we can take that out with the Abdul Majid. I just hope I don't run into torpedoes, because that would end things pretty quickly. You have launched, so we're gonna maneuver. Abdul Majid can target the destroyer, while the 2274, for lack of a better name at the moment, closes in with Congreve. Okay, Abdul Majid. We're gonna have to dodge some fish. Nice. Easy. Actually, no, everything on Congreve. Everything in all the kitchen sinks. Main tower out. Same as last time. We are merging. Their torpedoes are not hitting. Come on, straighten out. Give me that nice, juicy broadside. This is gonna be as good as it can get. It's not that good though. Not that bad though. 7 torpedo hits. Not that much flooding. Abdul Majid is struggling to catch up. What is that launch angle? I have to like go straight and show him my ass. Rudder damage. Darn it. That means those torpedoes are gonna hit. Dead torpedo. That was lucky. My rudder is working again, but I have an engine out. No. What's up? No. What is going on? You're not following anyone. Stop it. There. I got a little bit hairy. Can Abdul Majid score the killing blow with torpedoes? Maybe. Maybe now that the rudder is out on Conclave. That might be it. Yes, that was it. 2274 has fixed her engine. Main tower and conning tower is out. Abdul Majid has a lot of flooding and one engine out. But the actual structural damage is not that bad, so she might be repaired already by next month. There we go, torpedo detonation on the enemy destroyer. Rammed myself a little bit on the sinking wreck. Thought I steered clear, but apparently not. The 2274 is now free to snack on the transports. Now, those 5 torpedo hits from Abdul Majid did a lot more than the 7 from 2274. She had a much better angle. One light cruiser surrendered. One transport surrendered, excuse me. And the third one. And there she goes. Nice. That was a pretty good job. And that is it for today. We certainly gave the new light cruiser class a little baptism of fire there. So that was nice. Let's see, the French here have 1 heavy cruiser, 2 heavy cruisers left in this area. 1 is heading out. I think I want to find a battle cruiser to deal with those. But this French light cruiser there, 1337. This one is fresh. He's not fired anything. He can deal with that. How are my land invasions going? Slowly. This one is actually advancing, but I've got the naval invasion going on anyway, so that's not really necessary. So, yeah, next time we're going to continue on the naval invasions and start finally invading Britain itself. Not sure if I will ever have enough tonnage to take the French mainland. How much tonnage do I have in total? 2.3 million. It's going to be 2.4 soon. So maybe if I gathered everything. Perhaps. We'll see. Goodbye and take care.